Between the hundreds of LEGO Star Wars sets, there are some incredibly underrated sets that are often forgotten about. I compiled a list of 9 more underrated LEGO Star Wars sets, as these are simply sets that are barely talked about or didn't ever get the attention they truly deserve. These videos tend to be quite subjective, so drop your thoughts down below. In 2015, LEGO released the Imperial AT-DP Walker, based on the newly released Star Wars Rebels TV show at the time. We have never seen a second version of this set, and we aren't likely to ever see a modern remake either, as this vehicle isn't really prominent in modern Star Wars media at all. However, this 2015 set holds up as an excellent set today, and in my opinion one of the best Imperial Walkers ever released, second to the 2016 Rogue One AT-ST. This set depicts the Walker well, and my only real issue is the yellow markings. Despite being quite accurate to the source material in a way, it just feels too much, as in universe it's only a few small yellow markings and not this much. The minifigure selection in this set is really cool as well, including Agent Callus for the first time, as well as the AT-DP pilot, which is definitely the highlight minifigure in this set. The Republic fighter tank is a set we have seen multiple times before, but what I think is the best one is the 2017 version, which is definitely an underrated LEGO Star Wars set. Back when it just came out, I never saw it got the attention that I thought it deserved, and later along the line it always felt overshadowed by other clone vehicles or sets. Recently we got to see a brand new version of the set, which is really cool for its minifigures, but the build itself looks very lacking. This 2017 set just feels perfect to me, despite it not being that accurate to the source material. I just think this shape looks so cool and better than the other sets. The minifigure selection is really good as well, with what I think is the last older style clone trooper as a clone gunner in this set, and then Ayla Secura, who we haven't seen in LEGO Star Wars ever again. The 2020 Duel on Mustafar is a set I always thought was widely loved by LEGO fans, but recently I discovered that many people don't really like this set, and honestly I can't really see why. Back in 2020 I thought this was one of the coolest sets of the year, despite it being a much smaller set. It was the perfect way to get very good versions of both Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi, as well as a cool little playset of the duel itself. Take note, this was also the third time we have seen this scene depicted in LEGO, previously in 2005 and then later in the 2012 Anakin's Interceptor, and I think this set outperforms both of those sets in terms of depicting this scene at least. I think it is quite an underrated set, and I am glad to have it in my personal collection. The Sandspeeder is a very interesting set from 2018 that never got that much attention, as it is from such a niche and unknown area of Star Wars media. But despite this, the set is actually pretty cool, and I consider it quite underrated. Of course, this set is basically a snowspeeder recolored with sand colored pieces, and it does that really well. There is one notable part about the set that makes it incredibly cool for me, and that is the minifigures. I think Rebel pilots are some of the coolest LEGO Star Wars minifigures, and the two included in this set is no exception, as they just look so cool and unique. Overall, I actually like this set a lot, despite it being not as liked in the community and generally forgotten about. Major Von Richt's TIE Interceptor, or TIE Fighter as it was officially named, is another incredibly underrated set, and I can understand why. This was one of the two sets that released for the Star Wars Resistance TV show, which wasn't really well liked within the Star Wars community. Major Von Richt, however, was quite a cool character concept as a Red First Order pilot, and I thought the design of this character looked quite cool. The other minifigures were decent too, but nothing too exciting in this set. Looking at the ship itself though, it just looks really so good, and I personally own this set, and after building it really appreciated it on a different level, and I don't think many people realized how good it was. Ultimately, red and black always works well together, and this ship is no exception. We have only seen one set based on the Andor TV show, and that was the Ambush on Ferrix set, which once again I think is really underrated. The ship itself isn't exactly very well known, so I can understand why there wasn't a massive audience buying this set, but looking at it objectively, it's really well done. The ship can open up completely, revealing a nice little interior which looks really cool, and the overall exterior design with the different engines and small wings just looks so good, as well as the small turret on top. Alongside the ship you get a speeder bike side side build, and usually side builds are not as interesting in LEGO Star Wars sets of this scale, but speeder bikes are always cool to see, and this one is definitely one of the better speeder bikes. We also saw 3 really good minifigures from the Andor show in this set, and overall this is an all-around good set. Real quick, if you enjoy these videos, consider subscribing, as it supports this channel so much. Reaching more larger or adult-oriented sets, I want to talk about the Luke's Landspeeder UCS set. This was a set that was definitely bound to be made at some point, and I was honestly surprised that we didn't see it sooner. However, people are quite fed up with Luke's Landspeeder sets, as a few years ago we constantly saw a new one on the shelves, and the latest one being the UCS version. Personally, I think this is one of the better UCS sets, as it is an iconic vehicle from the original trilogy done in the best way possible. We also got to see 2 good minifigures in this set, notably C-3PO in his best form with the dual molded silver leg. Overall, many people do recognize this set as a good UCS set, but I don't think it got the overall attention it deserved, and receives a lot of hate because of the fact that we see so many Luke's Landspeeders in LEGO Star Wars. The Darth Vader Meditation Chamber is a set I wouldn't think we'd ever see as its own standalone set, and honestly I forgot about this set completely before this video. However, when I looked more deeply into it, I realized it's quite a cool set. Sure, it isn't the most interesting thing to display on your shelf, but there's so many little things that are just really cool in this set for me, such as the screen inside of the chamber, which is just so funny to me, honestly. I understand why this set didn't get that much attention, honestly, but I think it is quite cool and I consider it as quite an underrated LEGO Star Wars set. The final set I want to talk about is the Betrayal at Cloud City, which is one of my personal favorite LEGO Star Wars sets, and honestly, as a whole, I think it is one of the best LEGO Star Wars sets ever made. This set has so much to offer, with so many different rooms depicting different scenes from Cloud City seen in The Empire Strikes Back, as well as side builds such as a twin cloud car, as well as a mini Slave 1. Other than the really fun build, there are also 20 minifigures in this set, all really good and fit perfectly in a set of this scale. This is also the only set including Han Solo with dual molded legs, which is an excellent LEGO Star Wars minifigure. Today this set is quite forgotten about, and I think back in the day many people looked past it too, as it was simply a very big playset or a Master Builder series set and not a display set necessarily that most older fans with this kind of money would want. So I think this is an extremely underrated set that should have received a lot more attention. Overall, I think there are quite a few sets that can be considered as underrated, but let me know what you consider as an underrated LEGO Star Wars set in the comment down below. Other than that, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.